Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trinity Competitive Racing for round 15 of the Platinum class, and this is it. We have reached the end of season 16, one final race in the Platinum class as we know it. If you saw the podcast earlier this week, you would know that we have a new era of TCR coming next season, which will basically take away the Platinum class and put in the Elite class. I'll get into some of that later on, but my name is Camden Luca here for the season finale, 100% race here in Brazil. And you can tell because we have a stacked grid of 16 drivers from all three classes showing up here today for one last race in season 16 for the Platinum class. We're riding on board with the championship winner for the drivers for the third consecutive season, I think actually fourth consecutive season, and his fifth overall, B-Tom, in the Mercedes with a whopping 247 points, has already clinched the drivers' championship, but the constructors' championship very much up for grabs. B-Tom in the Mercedes tonight, flying Jippo in the Mercedes, but he is a reserve, so B-Tom, the only Mercedes driver tonight. The team has 279 points, while the Red Bulls of Professional and Silent have 262. So that's the battle for the Constructors' Championship, and there's B-Tom putting in the first lap of the night with a 108.732. That is the battle for the Constructors' Championship. But if we go down the list a little bit, things are just as intense. From third to sixth, separated by just 6 points, Haas leads the way, and Jose is here tonight to represent Haas. 129 points for Haas, trying to wrap up third in points. No Williams tonight, so they will not be in contention for that, although we do have two people representing Williams as reserves, but since they're reserves, obviously their points will not get counted. McLaren also in the running. Bats Plus is here tonight to try and help McLaren in that battle for P3 in Constructors. So lots of battles still on the table here for the last race of the Platinum class. It's going to be a long one. 71 laps tonight. As you can tell, it is just me by myself here tonight, as Sir Charles is in the race, trying to get one last Platinum class race in, so we're going to see how my voice does tonight. This is definitely going to be a test for me, but should be a fun one. Dirk Shark to the line, puts up a lap, and he was one of the people that showed up to Las Vegas last week, and I say that because Dirk Shark ended up getting a top 5 finish. And I think he actually came last in that race, so if anything, I think that shows the difference in the grid between last week and this week. So good to see a lot of people showing up tonight, as looks like XD Champ is trying to do his rain dance or something. Not sure why he's sporting the inners, maybe just to get a warm-up lap in, trying to feel the grip of the track, but he puts up a lap. His first Platinum class start of the season. He has been a Silver class driver throughout season 16, and he's had some pretty good runs. He's had some finishes up there towards the front in the Silver class, so we'll see what he can do here tonight in Platinum. Another driver making their way up to Platinum tonight is Golden class driver Rockstar, who ended up finishing P5 in the standings. If you did not check out the Golden class race yesterday, go check that out. It should be right on the YouTube side of things. He ended up finishing P5 in the standings. His teammate Sir Charles actually finished 2 points behind him, so the teammates definitely very even with each other in that regard. But B-Tom besting his lap up to a 108.255. And he sits on pole position right now. And I would figure I would shout out these guys here in third and fourth. Our Golden class Constructors champions, GTR Lion and Remsley, making appearances tonight. GTR Lion, of course, our season 16 Golden Drivers champion as well. So Alpine with a clean sweep this season on the Golden side of things. And we'll see what they can do tonight. On the Platinum side of things, Lion has raced one time in the Platinum class this season. Came home with a solid 6th place finish at Japan. And Rensley has had a 4th place finish in the Australian sprint race. So these guys, man, they, although they're Golden class drivers, I'm telling you, they are just as fast as these fast Platinum class drivers, definitely. Looks like Bats Plus is on a lap. Let's ride on board with him here as he heads through Sector 3, through that left-hander of Turn 11 back there, and through Turn 12. This is a very critical corner. And then right here, you want to stay really tight to the inside through Turns 14 and 15, coming to the finish line. Bats Plus, let's see what he does. Up to pole position. Yeah, that was a good lap for Bats Plus. Top of the board for the McLaren driver. He started off this season pretty strong, finishing 4th and 3rd in the first couple of races, but his attendance was pretty spotty in the second half of the season, so he hasn't had many opportunities to finish towards the front, but we'll see what Bats can do tonight. Former champion in this league. And this is a big deal. 100% race tonight, trying to win the final Platinum class race. Final race of season 16, so a lot on the line here for these drivers, and that's why a lot of people have shown up from all these classes. And speaking of champions, I do see one in the comments. Seafreeze, not here in the race tonight, but here in the comments. Yes, Seafreeze, we salute the Platinum class tonight. Hopefully this will be a good one. Still 9 minutes left in qualifying, and just about everybody has already put up a lap, and as a matter of fact, we just had a Red Bull cross the line. That was Professional, putting up a 108.4. And Professional could definitely use a nice run here to end off the season. I don't think it's been Professional's type of season when it comes to his standards and what we've seen Professional do in the past. Going into tonight, he is P8 in the standings with really the chance of going up to P6 if he wins the race. So could be a good opportunity for the Red Bull driver to finish off strong, and he needs a big day because, like I said before, he and Silent are in this for the Constructors' Championship. But they need a handful of points because we know B-Tom, as long as there's no mistakes or incidents, he's probably going to finish up in the podium, and that would just about be everything he needs to do to wrap it up. So, Red Bull going to need a big day for sure. Let's ride on board with Flying Jippo here as he heads through Sector 1. And he has a pretty good lap time as well right now. Hasn't raced much this season. Started off as an Aston Martin full-time driver, but has gone down to a reserve role for the rest of the season. But let's see what he can do here against these full-time drivers as he enters this slow Sector 2 section. Drivers with high wings are definitely going to benefit. He slipped a little bit there out of Turn 10, nothing too dramatic though. And he heads into Turn 12, just about even on his previous lap. Let's see what he does here through this uphill left-hander. Doesn't take the tightest line here, not what I would recommend. Definitely want to stay towards the inside of that white line, and he does improve though. 108.235. Right behind him, the Lion, in on a 108.2 as well, just a few hundredths behind Jippo and B-Tom for the time being. And there's my fellow co-commentator making an appearance tonight here in the Platinum class, so 108.596. And as a matter of fact, Charles, every time he shows up at Platinum, he is just as fast as he is in the Golden class. He does have a podium back at Singapore, which was his first Platinum class podium, and he finished 5th last week in Vegas. So Charles knows how to get it done here in the Platinum class. Although, granted, those races definitely had shorter grids, but he's still, in my opinion, actually did a really good job in those races. I was in last week's race at Las Vegas. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out to get yourself ready for Las Vegas this weekend, as obviously that's a big deal. Yeah, Charles was fast last week as well in the Platinum class, so. Dark Shark coming to the line. It looks like a Red Bull ahead of him is coming to the line. Dark Shark up to P7. For the time being, Silent, not sure, might be doing an outlap here. Yeah, he's on hard tires, so definitely just trying to get some laps in here. Probably to save those soft tires because we do have a 100% race as, yeah, Lawrence just did that on mediums. Safe to say this guy's going to be fast, and Lawrence always is really quick when he shows up in the Platinum class, but 108 flat on medium tires, so that is pretty impressive, and if anything, 3 lap old medium tires, so yeah, pretty quick lap time there by Lawrence. Last season, in season 15, he only showed up for a few races, but he won every single race he showed up to, so Lawrence is maybe the guy to watch for tonight. As we do have our first helicopter cam of the night. Oh, it just went away. Okay. Never mind then. Looks like Lawrence's reign on those medium tires have come to an end. B-Tom eclipses him for the time being, a 107.9. First driver in the 107s, and he did it on those normal, soft tires. The tires you would expect to be competing for pole position, except if you're Lawrence. Or Silent, for that matter, as Silent hasn't done any laps on soft tires yet. Oh, what in the world is happening here to Silent? He must be taking a piss break or something. What on earth is happening here? Oh, this is the best helicopter shot of the season right here. Of a standstill car. Oh, and he's disqualified. Yep, you don't want to be sitting around too long, Silent. This looks like a helicopter view of like a high-speed chase. You know, when the cops finally get the guy and they pull him over. Silent, I advise you to get out of the car with your hands up. You don't want to make this difficult on yourself. The Silent, I think, is opting for a last to first challenge, which, I mean, like I said, it is the last race of the season, but does he know that he's in contention for a Constructors' Championship? I mean, I don't know if I would try that method if I were him, but anyways. 2 minutes left in qualifying. This is the time where people are just going to head back into the pits. Maybe get a coffee break, as Steve Reese would say, and then come back out for one final lap, and Remsley looks to be the first one to try and do so. I like his approach right here. You notice how he is just starting his lap, so he's taking a very wide approach to those final 2 corners to set himself up, which is the opposite of what you want to do on your flying lap, but Remsley keeping a tight line there through the Senna S's, and out of turn 3, into turn 4, and into sector 2. This is the part of the track that is pretty slow, and you would want high wings if you want to be proficient in this part of the track. A lot of different strategies I feel like you can do with your wings here. Based on what I've heard the last couple of nights with Silver and Golden, it's kind of all over the board, you know. You don't want to do 50-50 or 0-0, obviously, but there's a lot of different things you could do at this track. So let's see what Remsley does. First one to complete his lap on this cycle of laps. opens up the DRS coming down to the finish line. The Alpine will go P4, a 108.173. Solid lap. Who's coming to the line? Is that my teammate? That is my Golden Class teammate, Raikkonen, making an appearance tonight. A 108.3 up to P7. That's the lucky oatmeal number if you're proficient with TCR terminology. Flying Jiffo to the line. Improved slightly, not going to improve him on track though, and he will remain in P5. That's Plus starting his lap, Lawrence finishing his lap, improves on his time, pole position, a 107.726 on soft tires. Looks like Remsley, I don't know if I would retire on track in that scenario. Who's approaching him? Somebody's approaching him. XD chat. Kluka up to P7. Now, this is a silver class driver here. Going up to P7 in qualifying. Not too shabby, and this doesn't really surprise me. If you watched the Golden Class race yesterday, you would know that he qualified P3 as a silver class driver. Like I said, he's definitely a silver class driver, just having the pace of a platinum class driver tonight though, which is awesome to see. XD Champ, speaking of silver class drivers, making reservations tonight, finishes up his lap. Jose also finishing up his lap. Bats Plus to the line, improves very slightly. Here comes Jose. He is up on his time. He goes up to P12. Not where I would expect to see him, considering he is our reigning winner in this class from last week. Las Vegas winner. And that will do it. So Lawrence showing his pace in this class, putting up pole position by over 2.5 tenths on B-Tom. Looking to end this season on top. And like I said, the Constructors' battle on the line. Red Bull not starting off well here, down in 9th and 16th. With B-Tom up in P2. Not ideal for Red Bull if they want to try and get this Constructors' Championship from Mercedes, but Mercedes looking to sweep both drivers and constructors this season. Let's see if they can do it. I do just want to shout out the YouTube real quick, alright? Look, I know everyone's tired of hearing about these people saying, go and subscribe, like and subscribe. We're at 598 subscribers, so if we can get 600 by the end of the last Platinum Class race, that would be Seafreeze's dream, if we can get 600 subscribers. So make sure to hit that bell, get your notifications, hit the like button on the video, and hit that subscribe button. And it is that time. It is time for predictions. It is predictions time for the last time in Season 16. I'm all by myself here, so I get to be the one to go first. But I am going to go... I'm going to say Lawrence gets this. He ended up finishing outside the podium in Coda only because he was trying to not get in the way of the championship scenario, but because the Drivers' Championship is wrapped up tonight, I don't think that's going to happen, so I think Lawrence is going to finish P1. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go silent P2. We saw yesterday that Remsley and GTR Lion did the first challenge, and they both finished up in the podium. So I'm going to go silent P2. And then I'm going to go B-Tom P3. Long race tonight, 71 laps. Should be easy to get a good gap if you have the pace. So, and like I said, 100% race. So we'll have to see what the strategies are going to be like. I can imagine a lot of two-stoppers. And the fuel as well. This is going to be a big test for people's fuel strategy. You don't want to underfuel, obviously, but if you overfuel, then you're obviously taking away some of your pace. And a 100% race tonight, not something we do often. And as a matter of fact, it has been 2 seasons since we last did one. Back in season 14 at Miami. That is the last time that we did a 100% race. So leave your predictions down below on the Twitch or YouTube side of things. I am able to read both. So make sure you leave your love down in the comments. We should be going here very shortly, though, because formation lap is off. Or should be off. I would hope it is, because it's broken. So leave your predictions down below, and we will get this underway very shortly. 16 drivers tonight for the end of season 16. Okay, 100% finale. The last race of the Platinum class before season 17. And I kind of mentioned it before, but we will be going down to 2 Formula 1 classes and 1 on iRacing. But for the time being, 5 lights on the grid. Lights out and away we go from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Who gets off the line good? Lawrence gets a good jump on B-Tom as they head down into the Senna S's of turns 1 and 2. The midfield looking a little chippy here. Things are getting tight. Back here with the Ferrari of Dirk Shark. He's side by side with Professional for the time being as they make their way down the straightaway. Let's see if everybody makes it out alive. Silent trying to go from last to first. He's got a few positions off the line here. Battling with Pilot, who goes off the track. A lot of drivers going off the track there. Silent is up to 12th already. Clean start, but kind of chaotic as Pilot's trying to squeeze his way by the Aston Martin of Rockstar here. And they are single file making their way up through Sector 2. Great camera shot of the cars making their way through turn 10. Lawrence leads the way, and if you take a look at the strategies on the left-hand side of your screen, 3 people starting on softs, a lot of people starting on mediums, all the way down to P10 with Jose on hards. And if we take a look at our positions gained and lost, Jose actually up 2 spots on the hard tires, so good stuff from him. Like I said, Silent is up 4 positions off the line. Professional down 2, and Sir Charles down 2 spots. Looks like we have a side-by-side battle between teammates. Charles trying to get by Rockstar. He will stay in line. Oh, gets the grass a little bit there. He's going to lose some time and might be in jeopardy of losing DRS here. Yeah, he's 8/10ths back, so he has to really hit his marks here through Sector 2. Boy, look at this train here. From about 4th on back, as we look at our possible race strategies at the bottom of the screen, yeah, it's definitely going to be a 2-stopper. For sure. Back up front, Lawrence, 0.6 of a second. He's burned a little bit of his battery, about 4% already, as 10th place switching hands here. Jose getting overtaken on those slower hard tires. Red Bull's going to get both spots here on Jose. Jose losing out to both Red Bulls. As we have our DRS train. Oh, look at this side-by-side here. Jippo, Lion going at it, and Lion will have the position as they enter Sector 2 of the track. And I did mention how the Drivers' Championship is wrapped up, but there are still battles throughout the driver standings, as there always is. Fourth in points, Jose has the possibility of getting fourth over Bama, who is obviously not here tonight. All he's got to do is get a point, and right now, outside the points, but obviously a long way to go. Oh, look at this battle here on lap 4 into the set of S's, and Lion will be patient and back out of that one. However, though, Kluka all over his rear wing. We'll have to see what happens there as Remsley getting overtaken by Jippo, but Jippo already blinking on the battery. Look at that. And that is not going to help these guys behind him, as the gap between Jippo and Bats Plus already 3 seconds. And with Jippo's battery already blinking like a Caterpillar dump truck, he is holding up these guys. Like I said, we have a literal train from 4th, let me see, all the way down to P11. With Rockstar and Jose lurking behind. Oh, look out! Off in the grass is Professional. He's going to have a really poor turn 12, and he's going to let his teammate by. In that scenario, we have a yellow in the back. XD Champ has spun out. Looks to be no damage on his part. Boy, Silent is on a mission. 16th to 9th in 5 laps. And now, both Red Bulls trying to get this overtake done. On Dirk Shark, Professional, gonna get the move. Although he kind of brakes late there into turn 4, Dirk Shark is there, but not much room to overtake in this part of the track, so he'll probably remain in P11, but Professional misses his apex slightly. And yeah, I think this is going to stay as is for the time being. However, Jose is there, and he has brought both Aston Martins with him. Oh, look out! We have trouble here, and there's contact with Jose and Professional. A big crash out of turn 12. Looked like Professional missed the corner there, spun out in front of a couple of cars. Jose possibly getting the worst of that. As he is heading into the pits ahead of him. Rockstar also got involved. Tough break there. Oh, trouble! Kluka spun out. Oh man, I think he's sitting right in front of the track here without ghosting. Man, that's gotta be a nightmare for Kluka to be sitting backwards and seeing people come at you at 130 miles an hour. Oof. Boy, oh boy. And I bet somebody like Charles was like, wait a minute, you're going the wrong way, Mr. Kluka. Why are you sitting on the track going backwards? Actually, that was a really bad Charles impression. Hold on, let me fix it. Oh yeah, Kluka, there's no need to be sitting on the track backwards like that. It's a long way to go, you know, but I digress. B-Tom has been murdering the battery. Look at this. Almost down to 10%, and we know what happens when you get down to 10%. You start blinking like a Caterpillar dump truck. He's got DRS, though, on Bats, and Bats has lost a lot of time here to Lawrence. And Lawrence is just on a Sunday cruise right now. 2 seconds ahead of these guys. Pilot into the pits. Gonna change his wing. And put on the medium tires. Silent continuing his mission of overtaking everybody. Up to P8, looking to get P7, and he's got P6 right in front of Raikkonen, so boy, Silent could get 10 positions here in under 10 laps, but he slides a little bit there, kind of taking a go-kart type entry there into turn 10, just sliding the thing into there. Just sliding into those DMs. He's about to slide into Raikkonen's DM right now. As, for the time being, Kluka, it has not been a good start to his race, and he goes around. Oh, look out, though! Oh, my goodness! Silent just had an incident on track. What on earth happened there? I'm not sure if he got damaged. There was a little bit of lag there towards the end of that wreck, but Silent going for it all right there, and I think he's extremely lucky to not get damage out of that. Wow. And still in P8, he really didn't lose anything from that. Although he did lose about 3 seconds to Lion and Raikkonen. And, oh boy, Silent, something is going wrong there for Silent. You see the grass on his tires, making another mistake. Yeah, I think right now I don't... Like I said, I didn't see damage in the first incident, so I think he's fine. Maybe he's not fine. Okay. Not quite sure what is happening. That was odd. Yeah, now he's going to fix his wing and change his tires. Okay, well, that ruins his last the first challenge, at least for the time being. But at the front, Flying Jippo and Remsley going at it. Into turn 8. Silent is going to come out in P14, it looks like, unless Rockstar can get by him here. Before turn 4, he will get out in front of him. Yeah, that was just... I really don't know what happened there. That was just a very odd sequence of events for Silent. Raikkonen and Lion, boy, this is looking like the Golden class. These two going at it once again here. This time in the Platinum class, and Raikkonen has DRS. He's probably going to wait until the next straightaway, though, to make his move. Hold on. Okay, I thought I saw something. Never mind. Raikkonen didn't get the best exit there out of the Senna S's. Looks like Lion will stay in 6th for the time being. Ahead of them, though, Jippo still trying to stalk the rear wing of Remsley. Not sure what the weather's going to be like, but I am noticing some more clouds than we had at the start of the race, so just keep an eye out for that. I'm sure somebody's engineer will tell them to pit right now. That's pretty much what my engineer did yesterday, so... Jeff, or whatever his name is. It's not Jeff anymore, right? What did they change the engineer's name to? I still call it Jeff, so it doesn't matter to me, but... Anyways. 4th place, switching hands, Jippo getting by Remsley. And I will say, this is something I have not mentioned yet. I haven't said the P word yet, but penalties are definitely going to be a thing before it's all said and done. 71 laps at a track like Brazil, you're almost asking for it. I'm just getting all my sound effects in right now, you guys. Last race of the season, so. And really, I mean, for me at least, I said it before, but the elite class is going to be on Wednesdays next season, which I will be racing in, so. And then Seafreeze will be commentating, or at least doing main commentary for the Challenger Series next season, which is the Tuesday class, so I'm not sure if this is going to be my last time doing main commentary for a while, but that's why I'm just trying to get all of my energy out of the way right now before Season 17 comes along, because there's a lot of unknowns, unfortunately, but that's part of the new era of TCR that we will have in Season 17. Oh my goodness, what is happening to B-Tom? That was out of turn 11, losing a lot of grip there, and now Jippo and Remsley are there. Wow. And I am curious as to when guys like him and Batten and Lawrence are going to come in, because they are obviously starting on the soft tires. So the two-stopper is the preferred strategy for this race. We'll see what they do, as here comes Jippo on B-Tom after B-Tom's costly mistake there in turn 11. B-Tom going defensive, Jippo to the outside. B-Tom not giving him a ton of room. Jippo with a nice switch back on B-Tom. And B-Tom is going to have to forfeit the spot. Good racing between these two. Now Lion is right there trying to pounce on these Mercedes. I gotta wonder if B-Tom's tires are starting to get the best of him here at this point in his stint. Remsley looking to make a move here on B-Tom, with Lion about 4 seconds behind. Remsley going to get this move done right now. To the outside he goes. B-Tom, not much he can do in this scenario. Misses his corner a little bit right there, and B-Tom is going to stay in P5, and he might fall out of DRS range at this rate. He keeps making those little mistakes. They add up, so for the time being, Remsley, P4, trying to get by Jippo, who burned his battery very early on in the race and is still blinking. Could be a good opportunity for him to make this move, and then really, you look up the road here, that's plus only about 1.5 seconds up, and he is on those deteriorating soft tires, so this could be a battle for P2 sooner than later. Yeah, he just lost a couple of tenths just in that sector. Bats with a little bit more battery than Jippo. Remsley with DRS. B-Tom's still in DRS range, hovering at around 9/10 behind these two, so he just needs to maybe burn a little bit of battery here just to make sure that he doesn't lose DRS. And then behind them, Lion and Raikkonen, two Golden Class drivers duking it out. Like I said before, Lion has a... Oh, look like XD might have had an issue there. Lion has a 6th place finish in one of his entries earlier on in the Platinum Class season back in Japan. Raikkonen has 2 fastest laps in 4 races. So, these guys, like I said, they know how to get it done here in the Platinum Class, which doesn't surprise me, though. you know, Lion and Raikkonen, obviously both top 3 in golden driver points. Oh, and there's an issue there. A spin into the wall for XD Champ. And that took off some of his wings, so he's going to have to come into the pits. And make it 2. Are we going to go for a third one right here, XD? Third time is a charm, after all. Ahead of him, Williams drivers exchanging spots, and ahead of them, Professional has made his first pit stop, taking off the soft tires, going on to the hards. I'm curious to see how long he'll take these tires. Look at this, though. Silent trying to get a spot here on one of the Williams. Now he's in a Williams sandwich here, trying to get the top piece of the bread. Oh, look at this battle for P2. Things have really closed up here. Flying Jippo very hard on the brakes, avoids Bats Plus and stays in P3, but Remsley is there, pushing it on corner exit out of the Senna S's. And things are getting chippy here for P2. Jippo, a little bit of oversteer. Oh man, that was close. And Remsley is going to take advantage of this and get by him. Jippo, though, not going to defeat just yet. He'll have to now, for the time being. Down into P4. Look at this battle, though. In the midfield. Silent, getting by Pilot. Oh, doesn't get the best exit, though. Pilot's going to get him right here. DRS to the inside. Makes his move. Silent. Gonna try and put up a fight. He has to back out. He will remain in P11. All this hard fighting and battling, though, has allowed Rockstar and Kluka to close right in and make this a 4-way. Ooh. B-Tom in the pits, but ahead of them, look at this. Raikkonen, GTR Lion. I feel like this has been a long time coming. Raikkonen's been behind Lion for a good amount of laps now, but ahead of them, Bats Plus, Remsley. That battle for P2 has changed, and it probably will remain that way as Bats Plus is on old softs with Flying Jippo all over his rear end. Battles everywhere. Silent, Pilot, Kluka in the pits. Pilot, not the best exit. Still has DRS. Ooh, behind him, Rockstar's trying to open the door, but Pilot closes it right in his face. Ooh, Jippo really pushing it there out of turn 2, approaching turn 3, and look at his battery. Below 10%, down to 5%. And meanwhile, we haven't mentioned his name in a little bit, but Lawrence is about 5 seconds up the road from Remsley. Just absolutely putting on a clinic with 67% battery. I mean, this dude's not even trying. Great pace so far from Lawrence, former 3-time winner of this class, and that's a sick camera angle right there. Heading into that banked turn 11. Yeah, that was cool. We need that camera more often. Or even this one, because this one kind of highlights the banking as well through that corner. Yeah, good stuff. This battle for P2 is starting to get stretched out a little bit, which doesn't surprise me because Bats Plus is just trying to hang on to DRS at this point. And Jippo Obviously, not much ammo to work with on his end, but he is going to use a little bit of it to try and at least get up to Bats Plus's rear end. So we're getting close to a third of the way through the race. Let's take a look at the amount of stops that people have made. 2 stops for Jose, 1 stop for everybody, 9th on back. Speaking of 9th on back, here is 11th and 12th. Rockstar blinking like a Caterpillar dump truck. Pilot down to P12. Boy, Rockstar 0% on the battery. I thought Jippo's battery was bad, but boy, is he using it? Whew. I don't know if I agree with that, but do what you want. P3, this was bound to happen. Bats might want to think about coming in this lap. Yeah, he needs to come in this lap and get off of those soft tires. Because it's one thing if he was having like the pace of Lawrence right now and is still holding a 5-second gap over Remsley, but once you start to fall behind and you start to lose positions, especially when you're getting to this point in your stint and you're about to lose DRS, I think it's just a good idea to just come in and sacrifice a pit stop. It's really interesting. I know that, obviously this is going to be a long race, but we do have a lot of on-track battles right now, and really it's kind of a situation where everybody is in their own groups. If you take a look at the leaderboard, you have 2nd through 4th all together, 5th through 7th, and then you have kind of no man's land here with Charles and B-Tom, and then you have Silent on down to Professional all in a group, and then you have this battle here for P14 with Kluka and Jose, so battles everywhere. As here comes Bats Plus, he must have heard my advice. Goes on to soft tires. Okay, so he's probably going to do a soft medium. Or maybe, yeah, a soft medium I think at this point would be ideal for the McLaren driver. And he is going to come out P9 as Silent is a ways back in P10. And he is going to come out right behind B-Tom, actually. These two were kind of towards each other before the pit cycle, so Bats should get him for the time being, but we'll see if B-Tom can take these parts to the end. We'll have to see what happens. I said this earlier, but our YouTube is getting extremely close to 600 subscribers. As a matter of fact, we just need 2 of you people who are not subscribed to subscribe to the channel, and we will get 600 tonight. So hit that subscribe button so we can have a 600 subscriber party during the race. I'll get some coffee, as Steve Freeze would say. Coffee and popcorn. Boy, things were looking a little twitchy there out of the Senna S's. But behind them, though, take a look at this. Bats Plus, B-Tom going at it. Bats Plus gets the position. So, Bats Plus on those new softs should try to get outside of DRS range here, but he is going to have some traffic in front of him. He might get them maybe at the end of this lap, actually, with his tires and his pace right now. And with Charles struggling for grip, yeah, he might get them here before the DRS area on the front straightaway. Oh, and Remsley into the pits, but he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding, so that will hurt his race. However, though, take a look at this. Raikkonen, Lyon going at it once again. Raikkonen leapfrogging ahead. Bats Plus Charles exchanging positions. B-Tom. Charles is going to lose 2 for 1 right here. Whoa, that was close. Yep. Nearly tags him, but it's all good in the neighborhood. As, whoa! The Alfa Romeo just said, I'm going to hit the brakes here. Oh my gosh. Wow. He just put his foot to the floor on the brake pedal right there. Oh boy, these guys are racing hard. And look at this though. Oh boy, Remsley losing spots. Oh, and Jippo sends it in on Charles. A little bumper car action here into Sector 2 of turns 8 and 9. Things are still very close. Now into the right-hander of turn 10. Boy, these three are all on top of each other, nearly going 3 wide. Remsley trying to find any way around these two without creating an incident. Oh, Charles gets sideways. He had a crash in that corner yesterday. Charles, yeah, good time to come into the pits. Boy, that was probably the best battle of the day. However, though, take a look at this. Lawrence has taken off the soft tires and gone on the mediums. He comes out ahead of Bats Plus by about 1.5 seconds. So, Lawrence, his pace is phenomenal. I don't know if Bats is going to get him. He's going to have to get inside of DRS, and that might be easy considering Lawrence is on Dirk Shark, but Dirk Shark will be a good soldier and let him by. And he will let Bats Plus by as well. So Bats Plus just outside of DRS range right now. I know he doesn't have much battery, but if I were him, I would try and not make mistakes and get inside of DRS range. And now the only driver left ahead of Lawrence to come in and pit is Raikkonen, who is still out on track on 25 lap pulled medium tires. I'm curious to see what he does. Dirk Shark, on the same strategy, he puts on hards. Okay, so I can imagine that might be what Raikkonen does, but we'll see. We'll see what he does, and if you look at the leaderboard, the only person that has been put on the naughty list thus far is Remsley, and that wasn't even for a corner cutting violation. That was strictly a pit road speeding violation, so we are more than 1/3 of the way through now, and no corner cutting penalties yet. So good stuff from these guys, and if you would consider the fact that this race came very close to just being your traditional 50% race, we would have done 36 laps. So basically what I'm saying is that we're almost, we're almost to the end of our normal race, if you will, and nobody has gotten a corner cutting penalty at Brazil, which I am surprised about. Raikkonen in. Let's see what he does. However, for the time being, I do want to check in on Professional. He got into a wreck earlier on. Well, there's my first commentator's curse of the night. First corner cutting penalty goes to Jose. You'll love to see it. It's been a while since I've had a commentator's curse, though, so that doesn't entirely surprise me. But Professional gets by Pilot. Remsley looking to get by B-Tom right here. This might be a spicy battle, as B-Tom is wedged in between Jippo and Remsley. Remsley's showing like he's got better pace right here through this middle sector. Yeah, he is literally coming within inches of B-Tom's car. Clearly showing his pace. We'll keep an eye on the battle in the midfield, but for the time being, Remsley going to set himself up for an overtake here on B-Tom. But B-Tom did have DRS though, so Remsley not going to get this done here. He's going to have to set himself up for this next straightaway. Ooh, good couple of corners right there. He should get him. Vitom, though, going to defend with his battery. He's going to make sure Remsley does not get this done, as behind them, Silent getting overtaken by Dirk Shark after Dirk Shark just came into the pits. I'm telling you, Silent was looking good for a last to first challenge if he didn't have his little debacle that he had at the beginning of the race. Remsley going to try this again. He has conserved some of that battery up to 40% now. I'm sure he's wanting to get this move done this lap. He couldn't get it done last lap. He's watching Jippo get away from him, and yeah, he's going to make this move happen right now on Vitom. Fastest lap goes to Lawrence. He is now 3 seconds up the road from Bats. You're missing nothing there, but Vitom gonna stay in P5, so now Remsley's goal is to try and get within DRS range of Jippo and try and overtake him for that position. Teammates, meanwhile, P11, Sir Charles, going by Rockstar. Both Golden Class teammates, who both race in Aston Martin in the Golden Class. Somehow both ended up in Aston Martins tonight, although Jippo, I think, is... I know he's a reserve, or should be, but I'm looking at my handy-dandy roster in front of me, and he is still listed as an Aston Martin, so we might need to update that, but... I mean, we are at the end of the season, so who gives a damn, right? Who cares? Anyways. Oh boy, Professional. Maybe looking a little bit vulnerable at this point to Sir Charles. You could see an overtake happening here. Oh, Professional might have missed this corner a little bit right there. Charles is doing some Houdini stuff with his car here, the way that he's lagging all over the screen. Boy, Professional does not like that corner. I have noticed today that that is not the first time he's done that. Side by side, though, Professional not gonna lay over just yet. As they zoom by the front straightaway, Professional will have to concede the position to Charles. And now he is in an Aston Martin sandwich. But Professional looking to become the bread of that sandwich. He gets right by him for the time being, but he misses his apex. Goes off the track, and Charles gets him right back. Good stuff between these two. The Constructors' battle looking like it's going to go Mercedes' way for the time being. Uh-oh! Rockstar spins out there, out of turn 7. Looks to be a single car incident, no damage for him. Charles already outside of 1 second, so he is on a mission on those new mediums. Boy, these two, these two have been playing leapfrog all day. That's cute. Lion, wow, he just says no to the battery. Oh, and Rockstar adding insult to injury, and yep, that will be his race over. First one to hit the shed, Rockstar is going to pack it up and go home. Yeah, both of these two, probably, I mean, at the same time, this really doesn't surprise me because Raikkonen and Lion are kind of in no man's land, so I don't see a huge reason to burn the battery at this point. And if you're Lion, like I said, you probably told your engineers to take the battery button and just rip it out of the car. Lion literally told them before the race to not put the battery in the car. He's just like, nope, I do not need this today. I gotta say though, I'm noticing here Yeah, it looked like Rockstar's AI was coming out on track. That always makes me a little anxious when that happens. Because we have seen incidents in the past. I could think of one with Seagrist off the top of my head. But like I was saying though, these two really have nothing else to go for. Dirt Shark about 5 seconds behind. B-Tom is way up the road, so no reason to burn the battery at this point. If there's a scenario, maybe late in the race where there's a safety car, or maybe, you know, somebody falls back, then maybe that's ideal. Trouble for XD Champ, that's his second incident of the day there in turn 9, which that is a common area to get people when it comes to losing traction. It is definitely easy for the car to swing to the left just a little too much and to lose that grip. So I'm sure he will come into the pits here. He is on 15 lap old soft tires, so I guess the timing of his wreck isn't the worst thing in the world, but obviously you don't want to you don't want to crash. I'm not saying it is a good thing to crash, but what I am saying is that he picked a good time to do it. Silent, Professional, P10, P11, Charles, P9 ahead of them, looking a little vulnerable to Silent. He did start to pull away, but I think his battery, along with maybe his tires starting to lose some tread, might be putting him in a vulnerable situation to get overtaken here sooner than later. So we'll see what happens. This battle for P2 starting to heat up. Jippo, Bats Plus. Jippo closing in on Bats Plus. Bats Plus really has not had the pace I would have expected on these soft tires. He was about a second and a half when he came out of the pits on these soft tires, but now he is 6.5 seconds back. So he has lost 5 seconds in the last 12 laps to Lawrence, which that might not even be a Bats issue. You know, Lawrence is doing this with 80% battery, just absolutely sailing away from the competition. I almost want to just ride on board with him for a lap just to see how he does it. Maybe I can start writing notes down for myself. But for the time being, this battle for P2 is starting to heat up a little bit more. Jippo to the inside, and he gets the position on Bats Plus. Bats Plus started this season with a 4th and a 3rd. Hasn't had finishes to match that since the beginning of the season, but he's in a really good position here to maybe get a podium, if not, maybe 4th or 5th. But with Remsley's penalty, that will definitely help out Bats. And even if Remsley pits, you know, he's going to have to get that penalty removed, so he'll get it removed, but that's going to cost him time. So either way, Remsley's not in a good position, considering nobody else, somehow, nobody else up here has even a corner-cutting penalty yet. And if I were Bats here, I would really just try and stay within DRS range. He has enough battery to work with, but he's not really... Well, okay, yep, here comes Jippo into the pits. Off a 12-lap medium, so I can imagine he's going to put on the... What? Well, I was going to say he's going to put on the hard tires, so yeah, he put on the hard tires, but like... Why? Why would you retire? Oh, and did his car just get stuck in the pit lane? We might need a safety car to get that car out of there. Oh dear. You know, there's been talks in the past of either penalizing people or doing something for just straight up, leaving the session for no reason. But if you have something that comes up, if something comes up, and that's not, that's out of your control, obviously, but we don't encourage people to just leave the race when you're in the podium, so. Maybe he had dinner reservations for 10 o'clock. And there's our second corner cutting penalty of the night, actually third corner cutting penalty of the night. This time it's professional. He is kind of in no man's land right now. 19 seconds up the road from Pilot. If you look at this leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, this is a leaderboard that resembles a 100% race. Look at this. We have a 10-second gap up to the lead. We have a 70-second gap down to Jose. We have groups of cars separated from each other, and somehow, through all of this, Lion and Raikkonen are still leapfrogging each other. These two just can't get away from each other. Oh, okay, so it looks like... Oh, XD Champ has retired from the session. Our third driver to hang it up. Raikkonen and Lion switching hands. It looked like Jippo wasn't aware that there was a 100% race. So like I said, maybe he had dinner reservations for a fancy Italian restaurant at 10 o'clock, and there was no way that he could cancel those reservations. He had the parents going out with him, and maybe he brought the kids with him. Like, it was this big family affair, He can't cancel that. So, 3 retirements, no safety cars, though, even with the 3 retirements. All 3 of those have been individual retirements of people just saying, I've had enough. So. Just want to give a little preview as to what to expect for this offseason. So, I have mentioned it. If you didn't check the podcast on Monday, I would go and do that right now. We will be going down to 2 Formula 1 classes next season on the F123 game that you see right here on your screen. It will be run on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Platinum class will be converted to the Elite class and will effectively run on Wednesdays. I will be there, so this is essentially my last time commentating this main class as... Hold on. I think we just had an incident here at the back. Jose with letting the Alpine by. Okay, so I don't think that was an incident, but anyways. So yeah, we will have 2 F1 classes on Tuesday and Wednesday, the Elite Series on Wednesday. The Challenger Series, I believe it's going to be called. I'm not sure if that's official, but that's one of the names that is out there. Will be run on Tuesday, kind of identical to the Silver class, to where it will be an assist tier. And then on Thursdays, get ready for this, we will be going to iRacing with a racing series to be determined. We're not sure what cars we're going to use yet, but that is why we have a bunch of people showing up tonight, because this is kind of the last race of this era of TCR, so be prepared for that. But for the off-season, we will be having highlight videos to highlight everything from Season 16 for the Silver, Golden, and Platinum class. Be sure to look out for that. Meanwhile, at the front, P2 and P3 have been swapping hands here. Remsley, Bats, Lust going at it. behind them, Ryan and Raikkonen still going at it. And behind them, I was wondering when Silent was going to pit because he was on those hard tires for 30 laps. He now puts on the mediums and should take those maybe to the end. Maybe. That would be a stretch, but we'll see if he can do it. Yeah, I don't know. That would be a pretty big stretch, but if he's pitting off the hard tires, that's probably what he's going to try and do, but we'll see. Good camera shots here from the ground. Nyum. Nyum, nyum, nyum. Boy, we still have 30 laps left of this. My voice is on its last legs. Oh boy. If you think it's easy commentating, ladies and gentlemen, especially when you're by yourself, and especially when it's 100%, think again. This sucks. This is not easy. Pilot, Silent switching hands. Silent just pitted for those medium tires, and he is on a mission here. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do, though. Oh my gosh! Jose just did an advertising gone wrong, and he is beached. Boy, that was close. He was doing some sort of bad advertising strategy right there. Taking out our F123 sign, and he might be calling it quits. Let's see. Yep, I knew it. I've been doing this long enough now. 42 laps, as a matter of fact, to know when people are going to hang it up. Done this for 42 laps now. I'm very experienced with seeing people just quitting halfway through the race. Yeah, you know, like I said, it's really not a huge deal if you do it, but Jose was in the running for 4th in points, so that kind of bothers me. All he had to do was get literally 1 point. So I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't know. I think he still would have had a shot at getting maybe 10th place. Oh boy, yeah, that's one of the things I don't like as well about the retirements, and that's on the game for just spitting people back out onto the track, but not the most ideal scenario, I don't think. Yeah, you see on the track map right there, the white dot still on the screen. Let's see if we can see him here as we head through turn 4. And there he goes, he's gone. Just like that. That is professional. Yeah, I was wondering which Red Bull that was. That is professional. That is a lap down right behind these two cars in 3rd and 2nd. Speaking of fastest lap, Silent puts up fastest lap. A 110.8 on 3-lap-old medium tires. Which is big, considering, like I said, professional is a lap down. Red Bull needs to get a bunch of points if they want to get constructors, so Silent's just doing what he can at this point. This is probably the second closest battle we have on track behind these two, which these two cannot stop leapfrogging each other. This is fun to see. GTR Lion, Season 16 Golden Class drivers and Constructors Champion. FFR Raikkonen won a race back in... Oh, he's going to kill me for not knowing this off the top of my head. Back at the Netherlands, I want to say? I'm going to double check that because that is something I should definitely know, considering he is my wonderful Golden Class teammate. It was France, okay, so tomato, but yeah, so he won at France in the Golden Class, finished P3 in the standings, had a couple more podiums to go along with it, so a very solid season for Raikkonen, considering going into the season, he was a kind of a long-time Platinum Class driver. I don't think he got a podium in the Platinum Class. I think he had one in the season finale last season, but in the end it was taken away due to circumstances with people's penalties, so he ended up not only getting his first podium in his TCR career this season, but he also got his first victory and finished on the podium of the driver's standings, so a very respectable season in the Golden Class for Raikkonen. So Bats Plus, this is probably the biggest stretch I have seen. Kluka, it has not been his best race. A few spins up to this point, and he is in the grass out of turn 9. That left-hander, which has gotten quite a few people today. And he is going to let the Mercedes by. I believe that is our champion. Yes, it is. But what I was saying, Bats Plus has definitely done the biggest stretch of anybody thus far. 23 laps, that was an interesting line. 24 laps now on the the soft tires. So, what has he done? I want to see what he's done. Bats has gone from soft to soft. Okay, so he's going to probably go for the mediums. Which is interesting that he's doing 25 laps on the softs, and then he's going to do 20 or so laps on mediums. I mean, honestly, I don't disagree with this because he's staying within Remsley's DRS, so he's not losing time to his opponent, which, like I said, I mean, nobody's got any shot at hitting Lawrence, but, you know, as long as you're not losing time to the only guy that you're battling, you might as well just stay on the track as long as you're not putting yourself in risk of getting a puncture. So if he wants to take these softs 25 laps, then so be it. Let's see what he does here, though. He's starting to... Once you get around 8 or 9 tenths, that's when I get anxious, because then you're really vulnerable to losing DRS, but he's doing a good job. 25 laps on soft tires. I'm seeing blue flags. That is for Kluka. Kluka might get in on this and have a three-way with Raikkonen and Lyon here. But Lyon going to leapfrog once again. I think we should count. I think I'm going to go back later and count how many overtakes these two have had, because this has to be a record for this season of, like, most overtakes done by two drivers. You get what I'm saying? Like, two drivers overtaking each other. This has to be a record this season, because they have been together all race, and it's been just about every lap that Lyon and Raikkonen are making overtakes on one another, so. And this is, not only are they overtaking each other, but this is for P5 on track, so. And I said this earlier, like, these guys can easily come up to gold, you know, from Golden on a weekly basis and compete for podiums. I really believe that, just based on their results this season when they've showed up, and just their raw pace, you know, they have the ability to go up here and compete with the fastest Platinum Class drivers. If I do my math, we are now, at this point, officially 2/3 of the way through the race. Give ourselves a round of applause. I feel like there's an episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs keeps the Krusty Krab open for 24 hours straight, and it's just him, Squidward, and SpongeBob that work, so none of them ever go home. And I'm just thinking of that one scene where Mr. Krabs is like, day 43, we've been working for 43 days straight. That's how I feel right now with my voice. Just 2/3 of the way through. We only have 22 laps to go, so we're fighting through this together. I've got some applesauce I'm eating right now. Oh. XD Champ is requesting to join back the session. Okay. If you want to watch, then yeah, go for it. I'll give you an invite. XD Champ, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, I would definitely do that. I think he is, though, because I think I've seen him in the comments, so. XD Champ, though, if you have not liked the video, I would do that. I might have gotten you there. Have you liked the video yet? That's the question. Baths around 9/10 back, just hanging on to DRS range. I'm eating some applesauce right now. It's a good option to kind of just soothe your voice a little bit, you know? And just in general, I mean, who doesn't love applesauce? I'm from Vermont, so there's a lot of good homemade applesauce options around here, as well as maple syrup. You know, we're getting into that time of the year where maple syrup is going to start being made, so it's always fun here in the winter, here in Vermont. I think Bats might have just caught the grass right there. He had a very awkward entry into turn 8. Here comes Lawrence. He is approaching a Williams. That is Pilot. Now he does get DRS. I am going to do a full lap with Lawrence, just to kind of give you people an insight as to what it's like to lead a race by 17.5 seconds. So let's take a look. And he is doing this with 80% battery, by the way. In a turn 4, you really want to be quick back to the throttle, as he does right there. This left-hander, it's so easy to get greedy with a throttle and just push it a little bit over the edge. You see, he's kind of like 4/5 throttle through that corner, but down into Sector 2, this is the slower part of the track. That corner right there, turn 9, you saw him get a little twitchy through there. One of the trickiest corners of the track when it comes to traction. And now turn 11, this semi-banked downhill corner. And you could tell, like, I mean, I was joking before as to how he's probably not even trying. I can tell, like, he is definitely, like, he's definitely pushing. You know, he's definitely trying to feel the limit of the car, but the fact that he, like, has 80% battery, super impressive stuff. So that is how to dominate at Brazil. If you have not been writing notes, I would advise you do so right now. Looks like we have a... Well, I was about to say we might have a battle, but that's actually just Kluka continuing to... is that Kluka or Pilot? Because both of them are lapped down. That is Kluka. Continuing to get lapped. Oh no! And Bats Plus just got a speeding penalty in the pit lane. He has finally come in for mediums, but he has 5 seconds added to his name, so that is going to hurt his efforts of getting P2. Yeah, because I'm just looking at strategy ahead of him. I mean, Raikkonen, Lyon, definitely going to have to pit. V-Tom, Remsley, it's going to be a stretch on the hard tires. I just want to see real quick what they've done for pit stops. V-Tom's gone soft to hard. And who is the other guy? The other guy, Remsley, yeah. Remsley has gone medium to hard. Okay, so Remsley could, yeah, Remsley could probably pit for softs here. Yep, that's probably what he's going to do right now, actually. Because we are getting into the window now to where you can take the softs to the end. I mean, Bats Plus took them 30 laps, but realistically, you can definitely take them to the end now, and he is going to put on the soft tires after he serves the 5-second penalty. So, he's going to lose some time, but at least he doesn't have any more penalties on his record for the rest of the race. Bats Plus is just entering turns 1 and 2 right now. He is going to clear Remsley by a good margin, but that 5-second penalty is going to hurt, for sure. Let's see where he comes out. He is going to come out right behind Dirkshark, and I can imagine Dirkshark is probably going to let him through, considering he did the exact same thing earlier on in the race. Let's take a look. Well, he's going to put up a fight, it looks like. He's not going to let him go too quickly, but Remsley might just have a say at this. He's going to do this around the outside of Dirkshark. That's what 0 laps on soft tires versus 27 laps on hard tires looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty dramatic difference, I would say so myself. Here comes Raikkonen in the pits. This could be big when it comes to his battle with GTR Lion. Let's take a look at what he does. He goes on to the soft tires. Who would have thought? Okay. I know I was making fun of Lawrence before for being quick, and I know this is on a technicality, but take a screenshot right now, ladies and gentlemen. 34-second lead. Now the question is, when are these two going to pit? Because they are on the same strategy as Raikkonen, and we are now 16 laps away from the end of season 16, so might as well do this now. I would love to see what their tire wear is at. Pilot as well, coming in for soft tires. GTR Lion in the pits. Ooh, looked like that might have been a little bit of an awkward entry there. This is just a hot take. This might be the toughest pit entry in all of Formula 1, in my opinion. It is, like, you see the amount of speeding penalties, the amount of incidents that we have on a regular basis, you know, season by season. It's always been tricky for these drivers. I didn't have too much problems yesterday. As a matter of fact, I actually had more issues with the Las Vegas pit lane than the Brazil pit lane, but I digress. And now what this does is this puts Raikkonen ahead of Lion. This is probably the farthest apart these two have been all race. But Raikkonen has a bit of traffic ahead of him. I noticed that ghosting is definitely off this race, just from things I've noticed, and yeah, he might want to get out of the way there. Oh boy, yep, he's going to, that is Kluka? I can't, it is, yeah, I mean, they're 11th and 12th, so, yeah, that is Kluka. He is going to move aside. That did hurt Raikkonen a little bit, though, but Lion gained a couple of tenths on him, and boy, Remsley is just popping off. Fastest lap after fastest lap. Going for his first podium in his Platinum Class career. I did mention he had a 4th place earlier this season, but that's just about the resume of his Platinum Class season. Obviously, he's done most of his work in Golden Class this season. Runner-up in driver standings, winner in constructors, just a great season by Remsley. And there's a corner-cutting penalty for B-Tom down in P4. We will have an interview with him regardless of if he finishes on the podium or not, because he will be, as of now, both our drivers and constructors champions. So we will interview him after the race, along with probably Lawrence, and then if Bats and Remsley can hang on to second and third, then we will interview those four. But I will say, hold on, I will say though, first of all, it's not over. We could still get a safety car, but Raikkonen could always make his way up there. You never know. Silent in the pits. After starting in last, I predicted him to get on the podium, but he had a little incident earlier on. Personally, it looked like he was having a stroke, but he is going to come out probably ahead of his teammate. If not, then his teammate will probably let him by. Red Bull's P9 and P10. Here comes Professional out of turn 3. Silent out of the pit lane, and he is going to come out right behind the AlphaTauri, which is insane considering we now have only 8 people on the lead lap. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, Silent. Not giving an inch. Hey, you know what, Silent, though? It's the last race of the season. If you take out the guy who's leading by 31 seconds, he's probably just going to, you know, maintain at least 15 seconds on Bats. So, if you spin him out, who cares? He'll get back going and he'll be leading by probably 15 seconds or so. No big deal. And it looks like Lawrence is going to come into the pit lane to take off his 33-lap-old medium tires. Let's take a look. And no need to rush into the pit lane. You have a 31-second gap. You will pit from the lead, and you will come out in the lead. Soft tires? No, medium tires. Okay. Yeah, Bats Plus still entering turn 13. He should easily get out in front, maybe by 10 seconds. Who's he coming out in front of? He's coming out in front of, who's coming out in front of? That is Pilot, okay. Took me a while, considering everybody is so spread out, with the exception of Beavis and Butthead. Ooh, I like this camera shot. Let's take a look here at Lion. Can he get this move done? Nope. Not now. Probably next lap, as, well, there goes the fastest lap into Silent's hands once again. A 109.5. That's actually a really good fastest lap. Right? Let's take a look at our race lap record. Okay, so no, it's not if you want to compare it to the fastest lap. The all-time Platinum class fastest lap held at Brazil is held by none other than Bats Plus. Back in season 12, it was a 107.945. That is quite ridiculous nowadays, but obviously the cars have changed a little bit since then. Professional adds his name to the naughty list. 3-second time penalty in his favor. Oh, what's this? Silent going by a lap car and improving on his fastest lap, 109.507. Lion got by Raikkonen for 5th, so now the question is how much will Lion push at this point? You know, I think these two, like I said, haven't been using all the battery in the world just because they know that this is the only battle they're going to have all race, but we're getting down to crunch time where you need to really start using your battery, so Lion might want to try to get outside of DRS range, but we'll see. Yep, he's going to use a little bit of battery right here. Down to turns 1 and 2. Uh-oh, we have a yellow for a Red Bull, and that is silent. Not the first incident of the day, but he is so far ahead of everybody else to where he remains in P9. Ahead of his teammate, Professional. Professional, will he make a move here? He is going to make a move on his teammate. Lap 62 of the Grand Prix. Lawrence has increased his gap on Bats here since his pit stop by 2 seconds. And they are approaching the Williams lap car once again. Kluka on 42 lap old hard tires. Probably the longest of the day by anybody, and he might want to get out of the way, and he does. I will say, though, for those who are watching, first of all, I appreciate you, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, 100% races can get strung out, but I love it. I love it. It really tests endurance. It really tests strategy. I think we need more of this, and I hope we get another one of these races next season, because we almost didn't have it for tonight. You know, we've been a little low on attendance this season, so we came close to not doing it, but I am glad that the show was able to go on as it should. Personally, I would have loved to broadcast, you know, a couple of the races this season that didn't have traditional broadcast because of low attendance, but, you know, everyone's got their own way of doing things. The show must go on. And 16 people tonight, I gotta check, because definitely the most we've had in a while, but I want to see if that is the most we've had all season, which is respectable for any Formula One league. It is the most. We had 15 people show up at Qatar. We have 16 tonight, which is an appropriate number considering we are ending season 16. That's my one dad joke for the day, I promise. Oh, I love talking to myself for 2 hours. Anyways, P5, GTR Lion, FFR Raikkonen, still nose to tail for P5, and you know what? I know these guys are reserves, and you know, this doesn't really mean anything showing up and getting points, but I mean, if you look down through the grid in the points, if you dig really deep in the points, Raikkonen is 25th in points. Lion is 22nd. They're separated by 2 points. So this is a battle, ladies and gentlemen, for 22nd in points, okay? There's battles everywhere, as I love to say. Battles everywhere. And I actually want to give a quick shout out to Golden Class driver Sir Charles, who has been my co-commentator this season. As of now, Sir Charles is going to finish top 10 in the Platinum standings. I would say somebody needs to check that to see if that's ever happened, but Charles is the stat guy for that, so I guess I have to ask him as to if that's ever happened before. But hang on, though, he is under pressure from Dirk Shark, who does have a 3-second time penalty, but nonetheless, he is under pressure from him, so all Charles needs to do is get a single point, and he will overtake Season 13 Golden Clash champion TJ for 10th in points. On to the front straightaway, Dirk Shark not going to use the battery. He might not have to, though. Here he comes on Charles for the position. Charles doing some Houdini stuff with his lag here, going way down to the inside of the track, blinking like a Caterpillar dump truck. Here comes Dirt Shark to the outside, side by side into turn 4. Charles will keep the position. Super clean racing. There's really only been one thing I can think of that's happened today, and that wasn't even really a case of bad racing. That was just straight up an incident with Professional, Rockstar, and Jose. Those were the 3 involved in that crash. But like I said, that was more of Professional losing traction and spinning in front of those 2. Charles starting to get a little bit of a gap here on Dirt Shark out of Sector 3 and onto this long straightaway where you can easily go up to 200 miles an hour if you have the battery and the DRS for it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this lap 66 now. Lawrence about to cross the line for lap 67. 5 more laps in season 16 for the Platinum class. Lawrence going to end this season in dominant fashion. I don't even know. I don't know what to ask him for the interviews, you know. How does it feel to be fast? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else really happened for him today. Really a kind of a boring race on his half. I will say, I mean, Brazil for me is probably a top 5 favorite track of mine. And one of the reasons for that is all of these helicopter shots that we get. That's plus now entering Sector 2. And we are still on a helicopter shot, and now we go away from it. We were so high up to where I saw... I'm going to have to get educated. Is that a lake that I saw behind turn 4? There was some body of water I just saw from the helicopter shot out of turn 4. Oh, look at the acceleration that Charles just got on Dirt Shark. Around the outside, but here comes Dirt Shark. Right back on him. Charles, though, going to stay out in front. Good side-by-side racing. And like I said, throughout all of this race, there has been really good side-by-side, clean racing. Which is what you want to see. And speaking of that, teammates, Professional in silent. Professional sporting 25 laps on the medium tires. But he does also have a penalty, so 2 of them, as a matter of fact. So I can imagine he will allow Silent to keep that position. Ahead of them, these 2 continue to leapfrog. Charles goes to the right, Dirt Shark to the left. Into turn 1, Charles squeezing him slightly. Dirt Shark gonna try and do a switchback. He should get him right here. Charles going to go defensive. And Dirt Shark gets by him. Good stuff from these 2. Definitely the type of racing you want to see, as they are on lap 69. Lawrence just entering lap 69 now. These 2 are about to start it. Boy, Luca still on almost 50 lap hard tires. I should find out afterwards as to what those tires look like in the end. P5, I think these 2 are going to start getting a little more aggressive. 2 laps to go, and, you know, every man for themselves. Here comes Raikkonen, using 10% of his battery just in that one corner. Raikkonen gonna have to stay in line, didn't get close enough to make a move. Coming to 2 laps to go for Lawrence. He won several races in season 15, had a P4 finish in Coda a couple weeks ago. and is looking to end Season 16 on top in the last ever Platinum Class race for TCR. Behind him, B-Tom will sweep the Drivers and the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes. And we will interview him afterwards, along with Lawrence Bats Plus going for his best finish of the season, and Remsley going for his first ever Platinum Class podium. Here we go for P5. Things are getting more chippy. Lion on the outside here. Raikkonen to the right-hand side. Raikkonen has DRS. Lion going to stay to the right-hand side for P5 on track, and he's got it. You can tell by their battery usage that things are starting to get real, as Lawrence will take the white flag to start lap 71 of the Grand Prix. We have made it to the end after nearly 2 hours. This is the closest battle on track, so we will keep an eye on this. Lion, 94% battery, probably just gonna dump it all on the last lap. Raikkonen going defensive. Lion going to use his battery. To the outside he goes. And he gets by him. Raikkonen tucks back in line of Peranto. Raikkonen a little far back though. Half a second. He has to probably do something right here. He'll have to wait until the front straightaway. At the front, Lawrence, in what was the most dominating race of the season, winning by 20 plus seconds, will end Season 16 of the Platinum Class as a winner. Lawrence wins the Brazilian Grand Prix Round 15. Headed through Sector 3 right now. He clinched his 5th Drivers' Championship last week in Las Vegas. He is also going to clinch the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes. With a P4 finish, he comes to the line. B-Tom is the Season 16 Platinum Class Drivers and Constructors Champion for Mercedes. And as a matter of fact, how did he get a podium? Did Remsley let him by there? How did he get on the podium? I missed that. Lion gets P5, Raikkonen P6 after their intense battle. I'll have to ask about that. I saw, it looked like Kluka crashed across the line. I didn't think there was anything else there, but Charles ends up getting Dirt Shark for P7 on track. Charles will finish top 10 in Platinum Class points as a reserve. And that will do it for Season 16, and that will do it for the Platinum Class as we know it. Before the new era of TCR for Season 17. And like I said, might be my last time doing lead commentary for a while. Just based on the circumstances for next season. So if this has been it, it's been a pleasure. These last 4 seasons of doing a lead commentary for Golden for Season 13 and 14. Platinum for Season 15 and 16. I'll still be in the booth on Tuesday. Like I'm not, stopping commentary, but I won't be doing lead, as Seafreeze will be doing lead for Tuesdays, and then who knows what's going to happen for Wednesdays, but I'll be racing on Wednesdays, so. And then for iRacing, I'll probably be racing for that, so. There's your podium. B-Tom kind of sneaks his way onto the podium there in the end. Lawrence just absolutely dominated. And then Bats had quite a day, stretching the soft tires. Good stuff there. Silent fastest lap. Yeah, and you can just tell this was a 100% race just based on the gaps that we see there on the screen. Let's take a look at our incidents. I'm just curious because I just want to see Yeah, it looks like there was a lot of warnings. As I expected, but it was looking early on, it was looking like there wasn't going to be a lot of penalties, and then the second half of the race came around, and boy, the penalties just stacked up one by one. So we will get these guys in for an interview. Lawrence, Bats, and B. Tom. All right, I have tagged them. We will get podium interviews underway. Let's see how quick it takes these guys to get in here. They're usually pretty good. Oh, there's one already. That was quick.
Am I free to talk, or should I
Uh,
not talk?
if you want, if you have anything to say, then you know.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I can wait.
I mean, you might as well, because I was trying to think of questions to ask you because you had quite the boring race, but.
You know, it's not boring behind the wheel, I promise.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So, well, yeah, that's yeah. I'll gather my thoughts here.
All right.
I'll give it a second.
All right. Yeah, no worries. I think we'll start with B Tom once he gets in here, just because he's our champion, but he also kind of snuck his way onto the podium there in the end. So.
Yeah, I saw Repsley ran out of fuel coming to line.
Oh, so that's what happened. Okay,
Yeah,
I was wondering.
I was trying to figure it out too. It was like I was monitoring the gap, just trying to see the battles on track, and then I saw at the end, yeah, he ran out of fuel.
Wow. I thought he was pulling a U for a second from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Yeah, I could just run dry on him. So, I'll be back in like 1 minute.
All right. Yeah, we'll wait for B Tom. If not, then once Lawrence comes back, we'll go from first down to third. What time is it? 10:43? Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, there's B Tom. All right, yeah, let's get this started with not only our champion in both drivers and constructors, but B Tom, you ended up sneaking your way onto the podium there in the end with Remsley running out of gas. Yeah, I guess first things first, you swept it, drivers and constructors. So how are we feeling?
A little empty, to be honest.
Empty?
It's been a very unusual season, let's say. We started with really strong drivers and really strong attendance, and then just from the midpoint onwards, it just dropped off completely. We did have a race or two in which we had more drivers, or at least competitive drivers racing again. With Coda, I mean, you had Lawrence and Ten, and then here in Brazil, Lawrence again. So I think to a certain extent, the championship is only as valuable as the people you're able to beat and the challenges you're able to overcome. And when the grid is, not consistently full of competitive drivers like we had at the start of the season, you can't help but feel that, maybe someone else could have won had, they raced the whole season. I mean, it's impossible to know for sure, but regardless of how well you drive, it's just, you never know. So that question's always out there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you 100%. So I don't think I've talked with you directly about this, but it sounds like you might not be racing next season, or at least, on a full-time basis. So as of now, what's the plan for B-Tom for season 17?
It really just depends. Um, I've got some stuff going on in the spring and summer, so I'll be studying abroad, and I've recently started back up with karate again. So um, even though I don't know what it's going to be called, or I forgot what it's going to be called, but um, what was platinum class. Even though it's on Wednesday, I'm not sure I'll be able to show up. It really just depends on my schedule, but um, yeah. I mean, going into this race, I literally got back from karate like 30 minutes before the start of the race and had to, figure it all out. So, yeah, we'll see if I can, and if no motivation's still there to make that sort of commitment, then I'll do it. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Where are you studying? Where are you going to be going?
So in the spring I'll be going to Mexico, and in the summer I'll be going to Italy.
No kidding. Wow.
So yeah, some exciting times ahead.
That's awesome. Well, I feel like I've been, interviewing you most of the season, just because obviously you always do a good job of finishing races and finishing on the podium. So, yeah, man, congrats on another great season, and whatever season 17 looks like, hopefully we'll see you then.
Yep, thank you, and congrats to Lawrence and Bats.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And speaking of Bats, that's who we're going to head to next. So, you come back today and get your best finish of the season, and you did it while stretching the soft tires a long ways. Was that planned from the start of you to kind of do 25 laps on the softs and then do about 20 laps of mediums there at the end, or did your strategy change throughout the race?
I had to change. I didn't expect them to be so bad, and I didn't have any extra mediums, so I couldn't use two sets of mediums, so I had to use two softs at that point. So I just went on the first stint until I lost DRS, and it was kind of undrivable. So I pitted, and then the way everything worked out with the cars that ended up around me, I was able to stay in Bremsley's DRS for it felt like forever, like 10 laps or something. So once I figured out that I could stay in his DRS, I just went as long as I possibly could on those softs, and I think it was like 30 laps. Maybe it could have been more. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I did like 58 laps on softs in the race or something crazy.
Wow.
Like 51 laps. So yeah, I went super long on the second stint, and I think they ended up at 60% wear, which is a lot. And yeah, just stayed as long as I could and put on the mediums at the end, and got a stupid speeding penalty. I don't know why, because it showed me a green speed box at the top, and then it turned red when I crossed the line. So I had to make sure I stayed 5 seconds ahead at the end of the stint.
And so, I'm going to be asking all three of you about next season, but I think with you, I kind of want to ask, like, what do you want to see from next season? Like, when it comes to certain changes and whatnot, just because, you're a moderator, you're a steward, like, you're around a lot, right? So I just want to just get your viewpoint as to, like, maybe things you would want to have changed or improved, and just, kind of what you're thinking.
I didn't get to watch the podcast, so I'm not 100% sure when this next season starts.
It should be like 3 months from now, 2.5 months.
Okay, and there's going to be two divisions, right?
Two divisions on the game, and then another one on iRacing.
Okay. So, I mean, I think it'll be fine as long as the attendance is there. Then everything will be fine. I mean, if there's going to be like a gap in pace between the front and the back, I don't think that's really a big deal in each class because, I mean, everyone knows that there's a pretty good chance that they won't win a race regardless, just because there are really fast people in the league and it's hard to win a race in general. So I think as long as it's competitive for people, then they'll keep showing up, and I don't think it's going to be that hard with 40 slots. So I wouldn't expect any problems in that regard. And then as far as like things that should change, I don't think anything really has to change too much. I think one of the issues is that the chats get really bad sometimes, especially in Platinum, and that's why I stopped racing for a while, because I didn't feel like dealing with the chat, where people drove like idiots and there were incidents because of it, and they try to blame me or blame other people, and there's like an hour-long argument about something stupid where it's the person's own fault for driving like an idiot. So I just got kind of tired of dealing with that and dealing with people driving like they never played the game or watched a race before. So that kind of factored in, and it kind of just became a turn off, I guess. So as long as the chats stay normal and we have enough people to fill the 40 slots, I think everything will be good.
So I'm doing my math right now, and even though you missed a few races this season, I think you ended up getting 7th in points. You were 9th going into today, so yeah, man. I mean, regardless, pretty good season from you, and yeah, I think that's it for me. So congrats on the P2, and kind of like I said with B-Tom, good luck next season.
Yep, thanks.
And now, for the guy who won by over 20 seconds, Lawrence. We kind of said this, earlier, but must have been a pretty boring race from you. Obviously.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
No, obviously it wasn't. But just, how was the race from your perspective?
Well, I thought about it. I told you kind of gather my thoughts, try to get a kind of walk you through the race I had. I think in my mind, my thoughts kind of took me to, that was the first time that the game felt really good to me. It's been tough to get there for me. So I hope I'm not going too much into it again, and I'll try to do my best to keep it focused. But been really struggling to get feel out of this game. I took like 4 months off of it. I'm starting to drive. I'm actually driving a cockpit now. I used to drive a TV pod. Driving a cockpit now. Took 4 months off this game. Tried to get a sense of what this game feels like. And I think today, this is the first time I've had a good sensation from the game, and that's been tough to come by. So it's been very. It's not. You say it was boring, but for me, it was kind of getting these sensations. That's exciting for me. So maybe that's the way to describe today. That felt very good. It's hard to get. It's been hard to get that, but they felt good.
Yeah, it's always good when you're winning, right? Oh, it's always hard to find stuff to complain about.
It's a nice to have. It's a nice to have. And I'm very fortunate to be able to say that in the position I'm in. But just for me, it's been getting those sensations that make me want to drive this game and have good feeling of what the car does, and that's almost if not greater than having a win tonight, I would say. So I have to be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I will say, so I actually just started on Fanatec this season. This was my first
Nice.
season that I had a wheel. And at first, like just getting the feel of it, transitioning from controller to wheel, just trying to find the limit was super hard at first.
I remember, I think F1 2017. That was the first game I league raced on. I drove on a controller for the first half. And the second half, I got my G29. Thankful now I got a Fanatec and all that, but I had G29 for eons. And just trying to get back to that same point from the controller took a lot of effort and a lot of time. So even then, just trying to get those sensations of how to drive the car fast back then, I get that. I feel what you're going through or had gone through.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still going through it. I feel like I'm
We
still.
always do. We always every day try to get a little bit better with that is what I would say. That's the aim.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. So, I mean, like I said, obviously you were quick today, but where would you rank Brazil on your tracks list? Is it a really good track for you?
I honestly, my rating is how much I enjoy the circuit, and I do enjoy Interlagos. I love the old school circuits, and I consider Interlagos one of those circuits, like Imola, Portimao, maybe even Monaco to a point, Monza, Spa, the old school, old way circuits. Those are the ones I really enjoy, and this is one of those for me. So yeah, I do really enjoy the circuit for true. So that factors into maybe it factors into the pace I had. I don't know, but it's certainly enjoyable.
I agree. Honestly, if we could have it on the schedule every season, I wouldn't be opposed to it. You know?
Well, yeah, I got you. But usually puts on a pretty good show, pretty decent racing. So can't say bad of it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, congrats on the win. And well, actually, hold on. I got to ask you one more thing. So,
Yeah, go for it.
season 17. What do we think? Are we going to see you? Are we not going to see you? What are you thinking?
So on Wednesdays, I have a Assetto Corsa league that I do with one of the Formula Hybrid mods, and it's super fun. Really enjoy doing that, but it's at the same time as what you guys will be racing then. I'm pretty sure. So depending on schedule, we'll see. They might be changing their schedule for the rest of the season, so we'll see what happens. But I can't say I could drive the whole season just with that knowledge, unfortunately.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll see. Maybe I get to hop in and do some spot starts. Maybe I give the folks here a run for their money next season. We'll see. I enjoy racing here for the most part. I got people I enjoy racing with, so that's good to have. And I'll try to make a few more starts here and there. We'll see.
Leaving the door open. I like it.
Absolutely. But thank you guys for having me. Congrats to Vitab on the P3, and congrats to you for the rest, like the next couple semesters. I hope that all goes well for you. Like that's you got fun times to look forward to. Congrats on the P2. You did a fine job on those softs. Trying to get that to work. So well done on that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep. Much appreciated. But yeah, thank you guys, of course, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to race here. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, congrats. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's all she wrote. 2 hours and 15 minutes later, we are done with round 15 and season 16. And like I said before, if you want to get all the updates on next season, go check out the podcast from this past Monday. It kind of explains everything, but I've given a good general idea as to what it's going to be like. It's going to be pretty similar, just a little bit different, with maybe one less F123 class to be with it. But that will do it from Interlagos, the Brazilian Grand Prix. My name is Camden Luca, and we will see you in season 17.